If you've ever looked into buying a new build house, I'd be willing to bet that you've already had a bunch of snobby people lining up to come and tell you all about snagging issues, poor build quality, and just general terribleness. I'm also willing to bet that most of them have never lived in a new build. Don't let them put you off. New builds are great. They just come with their own particular challenges when it comes to decor and design. In this video, I'm going to share what I think is the most common obstacle to having a beautiful new build home, and some tips on how to overcome that. I might get some hate from some proper renovators for what I'm about to share, but I think it needs to be said. Hey team, if you're new here, I'm Em, and I've spent the last few years adding style and personality to my new build home. I'm here to help you have fun with design, get stuck in with DIY and decorating, and make your home a really joyful place to be. We don't talk about how overwhelming it is to start decorating a new build house. In many ways, it might seem like a really easy option compared to tackling a big old renovation, but the truth is that it can be just as challenging in different ways. When you inherit an old house with nasty peeling wallpaper, old patterned carpets, and just general granny vibes all over, you know that anything you do to that is only going to improve the situation. However much you might bodge your first attempt at DIY, you're not going to make it any worse, so you might as well get stuck in. Whereas new builds come with their own special kind of fear. On that day where you get the keys, absolutely everything is perfect. But that perfection can really be a double-edged sword. When everything is untouched, and no one's ever lived there before you've even set foot in the door, there just feels like a million ways in which you could mess it up. This creates a huge barrier to even starting the process of decorating. The shiny newness of everything might be beautiful, but it's actually super daunting. Unlike doing up an older house, where you might have a sense of things you want to change or update, new build homes come with no such guidance. You've got complete freedom to add your own personality to the space, but with that freedom comes a certain pressure that you want to make the right choices. This overwhelm totally paralyzes so many new build owners, and they end up living in a sad white box for far, far too long. Please don't let that be you. It's no good for your happiness to live in a space that's untouched and unloved. It might be scary, but the key to success with a new build is to just start somewhere. Start anywhere and start small. You don't have to decorate the whole house at once, and you don't have to make all the decisions right away. Maybe just pick one room or even one wall and start to add your personality in some small way, just to get the ball rolling and get over that initial hurdle. I would absolutely recommend painting as soon as you're up for it, but if you're not quite there yet, you can still start to experiment with colour and texture in other ways. Try bringing in some bold accessories, or perhaps hanging a gallery wall. This is a really good way to add some colour to your walls without committing to a paint colour. Get yourself some command strips, and then you can readjust your pictures as often as you like without leaving any damage on the wall. No drilling required, and it's a quick and easy win that'll make all the difference. And remember, even if paint's involved, it's okay to change your mind. Not every decision you make has to be a forever decision. The first bit of painting I did here was to paint a feature wall in our bedroom. This was a nice way to get started with paint without committing to doing the whole space all at once. It helped me to gain confidence with bolder colours and some techniques such as drawing straight edges with frog tape. I loved it for quite a while, but ultimately decided that colour wasn't really right for the space. The shade I'd gone for was a bit too energising for a bedroom. It was gorgeous, but it just wasn't that relaxing. I've now repainted with a softer, more moody shade, but I've kept the original colour palette. If it wasn't for going straight in with that deep blue, I wouldn't have necessarily had the confidence to brave such a dark colour on all the walls. Paint can always be painted over. Changing it up and learning more about your style along the way is all part of the fun. It's better to do something wrong than do nothing at all. It's often through trial and error that your best design decisions are made. Decorating a new build house is a really exciting opportunity to create a space that reflects your unique personality. However, it can also be a super daunting task, and we don't acknowledge that often enough. So if you're in a new build and you're feeling a little bit stuck, don't worry, I totally get it, and I'm here to help. I've got loads of hints and tips for new builds and tons of colourful inspiration to get you started and help you overcome that first coat fear. But my first piece of advice? Just remember to have fun with it. If you're still a bit unsure as to what your style is, I've got the perfect video for you to help uncover your perfect home aesthetic. If you're ready to dive straight in and you want some slightly more practical tips, try my video on 10 ways to make your new build home stand out from all the rest. Whatever you do next, don't just sit and suffer in a sad white box. I promise you, you won't regret taking those first steps to making your home feel more you.